There's a lot of fake stuff floating around the web. But did you know that, on rare occasions, fakery can actually be pretty amazing? No, I'm not talking about plastic surgery. I'm talking about the incredible artists out there whose talents are so great, it's almost impossible to distinguish their work from reality. Let's take a look at some of the most incredible artwork you'll find so convincing, you'll think they're just photos. Number 20. Shower sensation. Here's a perfectly normal black and white photograph of a woman taking a shower. Or is it? Unbelievably, this is a pencil drawing by Diego Fazio called Sensazioni. Fazio is a self-taught artist from Italy, focusing primarily on hyperrealistic portraiture. Here's that same drawing before it was finished. Talk about attention to detail. Getting the ripples and highlights so lifelike took Fazio 200 hours. Took 200 hours for my attempt too. Whose was better? Number 19. The fruits of labor. This succulent watermelon might look refreshing and juicy, but taking a bite would only leave you dry-mouthed and disappointed. That's because this fruity phantasmagoria is actually an oil painting, the work of Italian master artist Emanuele Descanio. His still-life compositions of fruits are equal parts jaw-dropping and mouth-watering, as Descanio captures texture and lighting with supreme expertise. Number 18. Time to reflect. With reflections so convincing you can almost see your face in them, Jason DeGraff's acrylic paintings blow the mind. DeGraff's ability to represent the complex bending of light on polished metals and through liquids is unparalleled, making each of his pieces a hypnotic adventure to behold. My personal favorite is this one. The marble ball is both transparent and reflective, but he pulls it off so convincingly it looks like this is a photograph, not acrylic on canvas. Number 17. Lonesome realism. Each of Gottfried Helnwein's pieces seem to silence the room in which they're viewed. By adding film grain, varying focus, and using washed out, unsaturated colors, Helnwein's oil and acrylic paintings perfectly replicate a photography session on a cold, gloomy day. But who says gloominess can't be beautiful? Number 16. Presidential portrait. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the internet's favorite Terminator turned governor, found Diego Fazio's portrait of President Abraham Lincoln so captivating, he swiped it up for his Santa Monica home. And it's no wonder. The detailed focus on Abraham Lincoln's eyes and soft blur around him make this pencil drawing seem like an Instagram-worthy photograph of the famous president. Number 15. Awash in artistry. Apparently, photorealistic artists love bath time. If you guess this is another pencil drawing, hit that like button. Scottish artist Paul Cadden drew this piece titled After. Cadden captures water on a person's face, which is incredibly difficult to represent in 2 dimensions, due to water's complex reflection and refraction of light. More than simply recreating photographs, Cadden seeks to draw as realistically as possible, while also adding emotion and intent behind the piece. This particular piece perfectly captures the soothing tranquility of a shower after a long, exhausting day. Number 14. Colors of Freedom. No, this isn't your ex's art school chum's new profile picture. Kelly Orr painted this with oil on canvas and calls it equal. She skillfully renders multiple light sources bouncing off her subject and casting different shadows. According to Orr, the light serves as symbolism for the spectrum of human identity and orientation. Not only that, it also serves to recreate the glare and response of a camera lens. Based in Vancouver, Kelly Orr takes subjects we encounter in our daily lives and casts them in a mystical and ethereal glow. Her pieces really light up a room. I'll see myself out. Number 13. Magneto. Hyper-realistic artworks in black and white, or with stylized colors, are hard enough. But full color, natural lighting? That's a whole other can of paint. It takes a lot of skill and control to paint each pore with such realism, but Jung-Won Charles Jong somehow manages. If it weren't for the snaps of Jong working on this piece, I'd honestly struggle to believe it's not a photograph. Just like in real life, Sir Ian McKellen looks like he's seconds away from delivering a Shakespearean soliloquy or a profound nugget of wisdom. Number 12. Modern philosophy. You can almost hear distant city chatter in the gentle snore of the snoozing man in this painting. Yep, that's a painting. Dennis Peterson created this using acrylics. He calls it Diogenes, named after the willingly homeless Greek philosopher who rejected the superficiality of society. Fitting that he should be falsely recreated in such a convincing way. Number 11. Impossible to ignore. Dennis Peterson is known as one of the pioneers of the early 2000s hyper-realistic movement in New York. His most famous work, Dust to Dust, tackles the topic of homelessness and how society reacts to it. His work forces viewers to acknowledge the subject, a homeless man, as just as worthy of a portrait as anyone. Painted by airbrushing polyvinyl paints, this thought-provoking and strikingly casual piece certainly does its subject justice. Number 10. Old Town Road. As the cheerful cyclist passes, it seems impossible that this could be anything but a real scene. But Luke Towan created this miniature cafe and store using models he purchased and modified. The movement is allowed by the magnetic track Towan concealed beneath this diorama. Best of all, he lists all of the materials and steps on his YouTube channel, so you can get real too. Number 9. Setting the bar high. This bar's well-worn furniture, scuffed wood, and softly lit liquor bottles must be real, right? Well, these incredible images are neither photo nor painting. They're digital renders, courtesy of 3D environment artist Everken, created for cinematic trailers for Ubisoft's Far Cry 5. Everken has also created masterful scenes for Dark Souls 2, as well as the popular Netflix original, Love, Death, and Robots. Number 8. Another World. It's hard not to want to crunch these leaves underfoot, but unfortunately, they're digital. Rens de Boer is pushing the boundaries of what the Unreal game engine is capable of. This particular technology is called photogrammetry. This involves taking digital scans of real-life objects like leaves and trees and stitching them together, creating a hyper-realistic image within a 3D environment. It's the same technique used to make Star Wars Battlefront's environments so stunning, only leveled up. Imagine what video games will look like once we can all run photogrammetry without turning our computers into pizza ovens. Number 7. Something fishy. This doesn't seem like the right way to store goldfish. But wait, before you call PETA, it's actually a meticulous acrylic painting. And the reason it looks so convincing, even from different angles, it's a 3D painting. Artist Rasuki Fukuhori painstakingly builds up each fish layer by layer using clear polymer and paint. Each layer of paint is almost transparent, taking multiple layers to achieve a solid color. The process takes hours of work and occasionally a ladle, but the result is well worth it. Number 6. Fresh sushi. When King Lai's friend showed him a video of Fukuhori's 3D fish painting and dared him to do the same, he developed a lasting passion for the medium. The hours spent on each piece, carefully painting each layer, gently mixing and pouring the resin to avoid bubbles, and waiting for the resin to cure, only to do it all over again, requires a lot of patience and discipline. This particular piece, titled Please Don't Eat Me, incorporates a pebble to create the rounded octopus head sticking out of the water. Looking so real and slimy, this little octopus seems moments away from climbing out of the bowl and making a break for it. Run, little guy, run! Number 5. Wrinkle in Time. What's this? A derivative copy of the Mona Lisa? Nope, it's a silicone sculpture by Walter Casado. Casado primarily works in prosthetics in television and film, and you've probably seen his work in Harry Potter, The Hobbit, or X-Men First Class. In this incredibly realistic creation, Casado used his prosthetic skills to age himself. The piece, titled We Will Never Meet at This Age, was named and designed with the intention to show his parents, because by the time he really looks like that, they'll be gone. This poignant piece really makes you reflect on time and mortality. I just wish I hadn't commissioned Casado to do my future face. Aging is going to be a tough ride. Number 4. Jamie's Giants. Jamie Salmon made this incredible sculpture out of silicone, rubber, paint, and real human hair. The hair is carefully placed to look like it's growing out of the chin, in a process called rooting. But the detail of the skin is even more impressive, with every freckle, pore, and imperfection being initially sculpted, then painstakingly painted, all by hand. The large scale at which Salmon works makes his sculptures even more impressive. Some of Jamie's other works have included sculptures of famous faces like David Bowie and Pablo Picasso, as well as surreal, tattered pieces he calls fragments. I don't know about you, but some of these seem a little too real for my liking. Number 3. Reborn. Some call them creepy, others say they're cute and therapeutic. One thing's for sure, Shaylin Maxwell's creations are incredibly realistic. These dolls, called reborns, are sculpted from silicone to look like real babies. Some parents get one after their children have moved out, leaving an empty void only molded silicone can fill. That sounded way worse than intended. But in all seriousness, some parents reportedly find healing in the dolls after losing a child. Some dolls are sent to retirement homes to comfort elderly people with dementia. Other people simply enjoy playing with dolls, only with extreme realism thrown in. Most of Maxwell's creations use basic molds which are hand-painted to order, based on photographs of customers' real-life babies. She also sells original creations on her website and gives them away via lottery on her Facebook page. But Shaylin Maxwell isn't the only artist in the hyper-realistic baby market. Maria Giordano and Alejandro Fedriani are Italian artists who also make silicone baby dolls that dip into the uncanny valley and look incredibly real. Their company, MYA Babies, produces less therapeutic and more artistic recreations of babies. The Italian duo makes large 3D portraits of babies as well as life-size baby dolls. For almost $700 a pop, it's cheaper than a real baby, but I think I'd rather spend that on a puppy. More cute, less creepy. Number 2. Total Transformation. Vincent van Dyke has made a few babies of his own over the years. No, they weren't dropped off by a stork, and yeah, they're just as horrifying as the other specialists. But with his company Vincent van Dyke Effects, Vince does so much more. And it's all hyper-realistic and hyper-terrifying. With his prosthetics and makeup skills featured in TV shows like Scream Queens and movies like Darkest Hour, Van Dyke is the master of transformations. Be it fat suits, deformations, or hideous creatures, Vincent van Dyke Effects covers all bases when he covers up faces and bodies. The only thing I'll be covering are my eyes, because after all those jelly babies and maniacal monsters, I've seen enough. Number 1. It's a Small World. A relaxing summer scene. Of course you know by now, none of this is real, but for it to be moving, it must be CGI, right? Well, that's the odd thing, is that, in a way, it is real. It's just a miniature. That's right, this piece is a miniature design called New Jersey Den. It was brought to life by one man. No fancy camera was used either. A humble cell phone camera set to slow motion mode was all artist Matthew Albanese needed. He recorded the sounds from his own backyard, but Matthew's works don't depend on motion to be impressive. Tree in My Backyard number 2 proves it looks just as good as a still, while Tree in My Backyard number 4 shows how impressive and lifelike it is up close. This awesome lightning shot, called Box of Lightning, can fit on top of your dining table. Here's another breathtaking scene of an erupting volcano titled Breaking Point. Everything you see in each of his pieces, from the objects themselves to the spectacular effects, is handcrafted. Albanese uses household objects like glass, cellophane, piping, cotton, and other media to dress up his tiny masterpieces. Though his specific techniques are a closely guarded secret, the lighting effects are achieved by manipulating lamps, gel color filters, mirrors, and smoke. Matthew's expert manipulation of lighting is, in fact, the secret behind some of his most spectacular works, and he experiments for days at a time to get the effects just right. With lighting skills like that, his selfie game must be off the charts. So which was your favorite hyper-realistic piece? Do you think you could learn to make something as realistic as these incredible artists? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.